Hey, it's Joe here, and welcome to another episode of Ugly Planes. So, on this episode of Ugly Planes, I'm going to show you one of my favorite acrobatic planes I've ever built. It is absolutely the most entertaining plane in the world to fly. I have flown a lot of these planes that are supposed to be really fun acrobatic planes, like the Sportsters and all that are store-bought units, and nothing comes close to this. It's just fun to fly. It's easy to fly. It's easy to do all kinds of crazy maneuvers. And one of the premises of this plane was just to have a flat, almost airfoil body. So that way, things like knife edges, I can do real easily. And in fact, you can just turn that thing sideways and you just fly like that with your rudder, and it's unbelievable. I can actually do rolls with it. It is really fun. And what's also great about it is that with a lot of acrobatics comes a lot of crashes, at least for me, because apparently a better builder, at least when it comes to building something that can withstand me, than I am a person that can fly it. But I still enjoy flying, and I still enjoy this. And this has actually had quite a few crashes. Most of them haven't even been recorded. But most of the crashes aren't all too bad. They're just, some hard landings here and there. And, shoot, didn't do that right. Anyways. So, pretty much use carbon fiber here for some wing supports. I got some carbon fiber tubing, which braces the wing to the fuselage. And I have hit the ground. I have hit the ground like this, like that, pick it up, and keep flying. I eventually had to replace the motor because I crashed so many times that the bearing got damaged. It still worked. It just sounded like a lawnmower, not in a good way. And other than that, this is pretty much all original material that I've had it since whenever I first made it years and years ago. I have the cavity for the battery, which sits in right here. Uses a 220 milliamp 4-cell battery. Got a 40 amp ESC right here, a Dynam, and I've got an Exceed. See here, it is a 1035 kV motor, and I've got Coronas servos for the wings and for the tails. And I had some smaller 9 grams, and those were just not cutting it, so I upgraded to about 22 gram servos for the wings. And I painted it with latex paint. And a lot of people think, oh, isn't that heavy? Actually not heavy at all. And what's great about latex is that it's foam safe. And you get this really, really cool thing from Harbor Freight that costs like $15 that hook up to your air compressor. It's a low pressure, high volume, and it does a beautiful job in throwing out some paint. And when I say throwing out some paint, glue joint. So when I say throwing out some paint, I mean it throws out the paint, and you can do just a couple coats and you're done. And what's also nice about the latex paint is that, when you do that sprayer, is that it makes a pretty decent finish, and you don't have to thin it. And I think this is like 2 coats. And there's a couple more wound cracks, but I've got some skids here. But what's also great about it is that when you have abrasion and all that, it protects the foam because latex is fairly soft but almost rubbery. Actually, it's what latex actually is rubber. And it will make a little slicker, which aerodynamically helps, but obviously I'm not too worried about aerodynamics, but it does make the foam less apt to be frayed and separated, particularly when you raise the ground and all that. Like, I hit the dirt yesterday right here, and you can see that the foam was completely protected, and I hit pretty hard. So there's actually some utilitarian benefits of using latex paint. And for this, I've got plywood here. I got 3/8 plywood here, and I have wooden or some type of dowels going through the foam, so it's actually held in place. So it's not just glued on the nose. It actually has support, so it goes all the way back. So, which is probably one of the reasons why this has survived for so many years of me and trying to do acrobatics. But I've actually can do a lot of acrobatics. Seems like whenever I have a camera anywhere nearby, I get nervous and tend to crash. So most of mine, of course, like that big fish story. Like, oh, I caught this really big fish, but nobody saw it. And because I care about the environment, I throw it back. Yeah. But I brought back this brim that's like 1 pound back because, you know, brim are evil. I did once have landing gear on here, but I got bored with it. I just belly land it now. Less things to worry about, and a little bit less weight, a little bit better aerodynamics. But this motor is so overpowered, I can take this thing and just hold it like this, and just go straight up in the air. It's so much fun. So anyways, I hope this gives you some ideas for a biplane design. Remember, a nice fat body makes for a great airfoil and allows for some great knife edges and other tricks. So if you have any questions and want to know, it's pretty simple how I built it. It's just 3 sheets of foam here, you know, glued together, and the wings are pieces of foam by themselves, and that's really all there is to it. You know, I just have a piece of wood here to tie the 2 elevators together. Oversized rudder, because actually there's no such thing as oversized rudder. More rudder the better. And that's pretty much it. I did put a piece of wood. There's actually this is some really thin basswood that I use to support the tail. So I do have that, and I do have carbon fiber strips which go across here, which further supports the tail, because I mean, like I said, that tail is not going anywhere. So, which is really good because you don't want it to flex whenever you're doing those maneuvers, because if it flexes, then it becomes an airfoil that's working against what you're trying to do. So anyways, also never go too small on your ailerons. I love to have the big ailerons because you can do some really cool stuff with it. And with a nice wide wing, that becomes more important to have really wide ones, a really long aileron, so you can make sure that you can do your rolls and all that like you want. So, and also helps with the low speed, because this thing will fly so slow. And if I'm flying it hard, it's on a 2200 milliamp battery. It lasts for a good, I don't know, 15 minutes. If I fly it real light, I can fly this thing for 25 minutes, just cruising around. But that's boring. I'd rather do some verticals and spins and rolls and everything else, because what's the point of having a stunt plane if you can't do all that fun stuff? So, hope you enjoy this latest episode of Ugly Planes, and if you have any ideas or have any questions, I will do my best to answer. I've been really busy lately, and I do apologize because I know people have asked for certain things, and I really want to get back to you. It's just been really nerve-wracking. But I do hope to start doing more soon. I know I keep saying that, but I do intend, and well, this is proof that I have done something, so more will come. Hopefully not as long as an intermission as I had before. So have fun and keep flying.